Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and join with me today, as always, my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm doing all right. Hope everybody else is doing okay out there as well. As always, guys, we're going to start off the show by giving you a little bit of a spoiler warning here. Going to forewarn you, we are going to be talking about some of the books here today. We're going to be spoiling some of the things that happen in there. We're going to be showing off some of the artwork from the book that may reveal stuff. So if there's certain things you're concerned about, read your books, then come back. You can always find the episode in the playlist. Doesn't matter what time you watch it. Or, just be forewarned and just kind of carry on, right? Sometimes it doesn't hurt learning about what happens in some of these books, especially if you haven't read them, right? It may actually get you interested to actually check out some of these books, right? So yeah, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you watch our show and you have a friend or friends that are also into comics, let them know. Spread the love of Late Night Collectors community here at Comic Shop Talk. Let them know about our show. Hit us up in the comments if you want to keep the conversation going, and hit that notification bell to be notified of when these episodes drop weekly. You can follow us on Instagram at Late Night Collectors Community to kind of let you know whenever these episodes come out as well. And, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button if you like what you saw here today. Do us a favor. And today we're going to be talking about the new comics that came out for the week of September 7th, 2022. Yeah, summer's almost over, guys. Here we are in September, but, after last week being a short week and then this week also being another smaller week for me, but by the time I actually added a couple things to my pull list this week, that our co-host Chris here had read, I wanted to join him in on conversation with. It was not too bad of a sized week, actually. It was okay. This was a manageable. This is kind of like if they're always around this size, it would be pretty good. But next week's another story, but we'll get into that much later. All right. Anyways, though, Chris.
All right, let's talk comics.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. First up on the docket here, we got Dark Crisis number 4. And
number 4,
this is the thing that's moving along. I think it's 4 of 7. It has been coming out on a monthly basis, but yeah, I do feel that it's coming along at a good pace. I mean, we're also not reading in any of the tie-ins, I don't think, to this event, so maybe that's why I don't feel as bogged down by this one as we are like with Axe, where it seems to be infiltrating all the titles in Marvel right now slowly. But yeah, Chris, what did you think of this one?
Well, I didn't mind this one, but it was jumping around a lot from story to story. And like I say, since we're not reading the tie-ins, it looks like a lot is happening in some of these tie-ins. Like just this where Flash comes out of nowhere.
Right.
And I thought they were searching for him this whole time, like he was lost. And is that the Flash that was lost? Barry Allen, or?
Yeah, I believe so. Barry Allen. No, because wasn't Barry the one that got pulled into his own dreamscape thing?
Yeah, he can be out now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was kind of a surprise to me. And I guess if I was reading the tie-ins, it'd be more sort of explained.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just didn't like the way it was jumping from story to story kind of within the panels. Like even in this, double page spread, it was kind of 2 bottom panels lead into, I guess, the Nightwing story there where he's outside Beast Boy's bed. Mm-hmm. But I guess there's a lot going on here too. So I guess they're trying to touch on everything.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind that.
I'm still enjoying this, man. I mean, like, to be honest, like, I get what you're saying about it maybe kind of spiraling out some of these stories into some of these tie-ins, and maybe we're missing a little bit of the sub stories that are happening. But like, for me, like, I feel like they've been spoon feeding us this event. Like, I don't feel that confused about the current, like, the things that are happening or occurring in the DC universe, at least in this book. Like, I'm not so confused by this event as a whole. Like, it's kind of dumb and fun, and I'm kind of just going with it, to be honest with you. Like, is this like not great? I don't know, honestly. Like, I'm not huge on events, and then this one's been hitting the sweet spot for me, though. I think that this is hitting a lot of story beats and showcasing a lot of moments that I've been enjoying. I mean, they're doing it without the main Justice League characters, the Trinity, or a lot of the other people that were a part of the team at this point. So I think overall it's been quite successful, at least for me. Like I said, I know I give this my favorite book of the week a couple of times. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just really digging this event, and it's working for me. So I mean, I from what I've been hearing from other folks, they haven't been loving this as much. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm not. It's because like even in this, they're trying to define the basically the like what's happening and what this where this evil is coming from or whatever, this darkness, right? Like they're trying to like classify like what's going on in this book. And does it all make sense? Not really, but I mean, like, I'm just going with it. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, everyone's being like taken over by some sort of evil, and then the evil is being taken over by an evil of some sort. They were going into it a little bit in this issue, and I was like, I don't know what they're going on about, but like this was cool. Like they're going to different worlds with different Batmans now. They're talking about the whole, and then we're gonna get into it with the next book, but like there's a lot of shit going on here at DC right now with these crises events, right? I don't know about you, but I've been digging this a lot, Chris. Like it's weird.
I'm enjoying it, but I think they're spending too much time trying to explain all their omniverses and multiverses and all that sort of stuff. I have to read this one twice just to kind of get a better idea what's going on. Like as like in kind of big picture, I don't mind that the small stories that are happening there. Nice seeing all these people pop up, like when the Swamp Things kind of show up, and I didn't mind that, but just all this stuff where they're trying. It's like this one and the next comic we're going to talk about, where they're just trying to, I don't know, legitimize all these worlds, all these reboots that they're doing. And if that's what this ends up becoming, I don't know if that's going to be a great finish to this, but we'll see.
I mean, they're staying true to their whole, like, I think the status quo that they set prior to this with DC now being that everything matters. Like they even said it. I don't know if it was in this one or in the next book we're going to talk about, but they did drive that point home yet again. Like how like everything counts, like all the universes, all the moments, everything counts now instead of like, one of DC's big criticisms over the years was how they always press the reboot button, like their reset button constantly, right? And they always do it in the form of a crisis event or something like. So that's why I was surprised when they, with this issue, mind you, they've now changed the title to Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is stupid, honestly. Like I don't know why they had to bother doing that like halfway through the event to make it seem like a bigger deal than it is. Maybe the sales haven't been good for this. I don't know. Like I said, I find this book entertaining. Is it the best thing I've ever read? Absolutely not. Is it like the best event? Probably not that either. But I think it's been entertaining for me. I'm just going with it at this point. And I wish I felt that way about all events, because man, maybe I would enjoy half of the ones I've read in the past, right? But this one is doing it for me. I don't know. Luthor, Deathstroke, that was cool. I don't know what the hell happened here at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Right here.
And then like you just have a little picture later on and you see Luthor with those chains on, meaning he's taken over by the Dark Army, I guess.
Well, that's what I guessed by the fact that I mean, it looks like there's symbiotes like flying out of him, like the darkness takes over. It seems like the whole Legion of Doom or whatever.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I guess Black Adam's immune to it for whatever reason.
Right. And then this, so like things could get potentially very messy next issue, even messier than they are now. Like I might be saying, hey, you know what? This is pretty straightforward so far. With the way this issue ended here, with this whole new multiverse being born, it has the potential to get very confusing in a crisis-like style. But we'll see. We'll see what happens next issue. I'm still in though. I'm digging it.
Definitely still in for this. Yeah. I look forward to these when they come out.
Yeah. So what'd you give that one, Chris?
I'll give it a 3.5. I wanted to ask you, one of the big things, there was supposed to be like a new appearance of Red Canary or something in this, but I didn't see where that happened. I don't even know who Red Canary is, and I don't know if I just missed it in there or if that was just a red herring or something.
I mean, if you missed it, I missed it too, because I don't even know that to be the case.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's just a little side note, but
yeah. But I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 4, man. I'm digging it. I'm gonna give it a 4. Yeah, it's I'm still enjoying it. All right, next up we got Flashpoint Beyond number 5. There we go.
I read this one online too, so I don't have the actual physical copy.
Okay. Same with Dark Crisis. You read that online too?
No, I had Dark Crisis.
Okay.
I have the copy there.
That one, but I got the same cover there. So what did you think of this? I know you've been digging in Flashpoint Beyond.
I've been digging this one too, but this one kind of fell a little short for me again. I think these are just, some issues with it. They're taking some time to breathe. And I don't know. Once again, I think this kind of spoiled even a bit of the Dark Crisis, if I remember correctly. Maybe if I read this before Dark Crisis might have been better. But I'm still not all this stuff with Wayne and with the Joker and Harvey Dent and Oswald, and I don't know what's going on in here anymore. I'll have to reread this one again too, I think.
This one, I think I also lost a little bit of the thread with this issue. I will say that, but I still really enjoyed it. And this is another book where I find like this is something that I feel like no one's talking about. And this is even more crazy than the Dark Crisis. I feel like this book.
Yeah.
In this page that we have up here right now, like Geoff Johns doing the Lord's work here. He's actually trying to make sense of everything going on right now, including Dark Crisis, all the universes, the way that all is broken down. He's got Mr. Terrific here on a talk show because he's like one of the smartest people in DC, like trying to explain everything here at the start. He ropes in the whole Watchmen thing because he wrote Doomsday Clock, Geoff Johns. Like this guy's taking this stuff to like he's taking this on this like let's try to make sense of all the fucking continuity for everything. Like if anything, this book has made Dark Crisis better for me. I gotta say, because I think it is actually trying to include that, and like this feels like the more important book. But then you got this other side story with the Flashpoint universe, which doesn't even seem important, like compared to this other shit that's going on. Like, I guess they're just trying to explain how the universe shit's like working right now and what's going on exactly. But like, as a side story, that's just his own personal kind of battle going on between him and his wife Joker, Thomas Wayne, right? Like, so if anything, it's just really a continuation of that original Flashpoint miniseries where they kind of set all that in motion to begin with, the relationship between his wife being the Joker and Thomas Wayne and stuff like that. And I don't know how they're going to wrap this up in one more issue. This is five of six this issue. I don't know what kind of ending they're going to give us next issue, but I think there's going to be a lot left unanswered, and I could see it going into another series. I don't know if that's the reason why Geoff Johns is doing Justice Society of America series. I don't know if he's going to do another Flashpoint mini series. I think you can do that. I mean, I think there's lots of more story you can tell in this universe, but like, what's it really all matter? I don't know. To your point. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm a little confused about like what this all has to do with anything other than him trying to make sense of everything. Other than that, is this a story worth telling? Not really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's
yeah.
I just feel like more people should be talking about this book because they're trying to make it seem important. Like he is actually putting I feel like a good effort forth, to actually explain all this shit. Right. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm concerned about is the effort really worth all this? Like, two series. And I think there was talking about this even in the Justice League Incarnate before, where they're kind of moving from universe to universe, almost like a prequel to this Dark Crisis. And I don't know, they're just spending a lot of effort into trying to explain all their universes. Why don't you just let them be,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so what'd you give this one then?
I'm going to give this a 3.5 as well. Like I thought the cover, there's whatchamacallit, a variant cover that was pretty sick there with the Joker, but I for whatever reason, I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting bogged down now by all these events. Now, I think that is occurring to you now. You feel like it's not really telling you a.
Well, for 5 of 6, like you say, you want a big cliffhanger at the end, like what's going on, and until you told me it was only 6 issues, I thought this is like the middle of the series where everything kind of just slows down for a bit, and you kind of everything's just gonna pick right back up. But if there's only one issue left next.
Awesome layouts, good art.
Yeah, it's great art. Like it's still an interesting story, and I want to see where it goes.
But I'm with you.
I got to read this one again just to figure out, just to time it all out, or figure out where everything is.
I'm with you, and this is starting to get a little bit confusing, though, and the fact that I think it's a good effort that he's doing to tell this story. But again, is it worth it? Is it a story worth telling? Is it important? He's sure making it seem like it's supposed to be, but like, you know what I mean? Like by trying to explain how everything works. Rip Hunter, Time Masters, coming into the comic next issue. I like Rip Hunter a lot. He's like a time traveling dude, so that's pretty awesome. But again, this does not feel like that should be the last issue, the next one, right? So
maybe that's another thing. I don't know who this Rip Hunter is, so maybe that's a bigger deal than, oh wow, big deal, Rip Hunter. I don't know who he is, so
very CD list, like D list character. So
yeah,
it's I'll give it a 3.75, only because I was going to give it a 4, but I'll agree with you that this one is getting a little bit more confusing now to digest than the Dark Crisis so far for me. Like there's a lot more shit going on in this book, while at the same time doesn't feel like there's much going on at this. I don't know if that makes sense.
I'd be more interested to see what's going on with the Joker and Thomas Wayne or his wife and the Harvey Dent stuff. But that all kind of gets pushed to the side because they're still trying to explain all these universes and how they fit together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I guess we'll see. All right. Next up, All Out Avengers #1. Okay, so I wasn't planning on reading this, but we both read this digitally online, and Chris mentioned that he read it. And compared to Chris's list this week, mine was looking a little less than. So I decided to join him in reading this one. What'd you think of this, Chris?
Well, once again, this is an issue I didn't buy. I wasn't planning on buying it. But, I like the artist, the Greg Land. He did all those with the Gwenverse variant covers that I liked, and there's a nice first page right there with a dark Captain Marvel. Once I heard she was in there, I thought that was interesting. But at the end of it, this reminds me of it'd be like if this was a cartoon, where you kind of just get dropped in, all these people kind of put together. You don't really need to know why they're together or how they got there. This isn't some Avengers team, and I think they even reference in there a few times with Blade. He doesn't remember what's happening. And, I think the story's done at the end, and it was just a nice action-packed story. I thought the art was good in there, and it was a fun story, a lot of action. And I guess that's what this series is supposed to be all about.
Yeah, I read the editor's note at the end of the issue, and that was my biggest, like, going into this, I heard they were trying to do something similar to like the nonstop Spider-Man idea that they had, which again is supposed to be an issue where it's kind of like one and done stories with the main characters of the book, while still having a through line of a story, I guess, that will all kind of connect these events essentially. And it's supposed to be fast paced, action packed, where action's the main thing. And it's supposed to be every day. It's supposed to be like a one and done story about an Avengers mission that should, supposedly wrap up within, the same issue type of deal. Right. And that's essentially what happened here. But that was my biggest takeaway, was like, why does there have to be this title? What's the importance of this? Does this matter? Especially on the stands when there's already like how many fucking Avengers titles that are all tying in together right now, right? With the Jason Aaron one. So like, is this one better than those? Like, I haven't been reading those. I know you have been. I don't know if I'd go that far, from at least from what I've heard, but I'm not a huge Greg Land fan. That's cool if you like his art. For me though, I probably won't be checking this out again, I think, but it was okay. It was nothing bad about it necessarily. It was just fine. Like it was a decent, again, Avengers mission. I like seeing Spider-Man there. That was cool. The Spider-Man parts were fun. So yeah, it was all right.
It's nice seeing the characters kind of not bogged down by what's going on in their respective titles. Thor's not worried about, being unworthy or anything. His hammer's not talking to him. Thor's just being Thor. Spider-Man's being Spider-Man. There's no backstory about him, I don't know, blowing up whatever he blew up and all that sort of business. So it's just kind of see them all back to basics. It's nice. But at the end of the day, like I say, it seems like a non-canon story. Like these looks like the scripts that they would have had if they had an all-out Avengers cartoon where, it doesn't really have to fit into the world that's going on or to the comic universe as it is right now. But the next one's looking pretty good, though. You got Doctor Doom with Captain America's shield, so I think I ordered that one just on that fact. But once again, like these aren't things that are happening in the real world of Marvel. It seems.
You know what though? These side stories and things that don't matter in that sense to current continuity though aren't always a bad thing. Like that's sometimes where the good stories are being told. So like you said, it doesn't sound like, at least the way they explain the series to us at the end of this issue, that you need to read every issue. I think you can just pick up an issue of this and check it out, and you're going to get an Avengers story in that issue. So I mean, anything looks like interesting to you, like Chris said with the next one, just pick this up because it wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad. I'm just like, I'm not even reading the main Avengers title though. So I'm just like, I'm not going to read this now. Right.
Yeah. The only way I could see this story mattering is if somehow they sold 1 million copies and it went to like 5 printings and, they kind of hit lightning in a bottle and all of a sudden this would become the new reality. But I don't see that happening with this, unfortunately. Yeah. But it's still a fun read. I'd give it a 3.5. Like I say, it's nothing crazy, but it was a fun read.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5. As much as I hate Greg Land.
I can hate him. I know I can hate him. Like
I'm not
his favorite, but
I could get into why I don't like his art, but I'll save that for another time. I don't want to you like his art, that's cool. I'm just gonna move on.
Okay.
Punisher number 6.
Oof.
Yeah. Finally is
an oof, a reaction to a Punisher comic.
Finally, you get majority of the issue taking place in current day time as well. Punisher. Yeah, this is there was very little of the flashback nonsense that we haven't really been digging on in this series in this particular issue. Majority of the issue was told through this artist and the current storyline that's happening. So what'd you think of this one?
Yeah, so like I say, got Punisher battling Ares in this one, and they showcased a lot of those crazy weapons he's talking about. That was kind of fun in the beginning.
This one shoots trucks. One of the guns shoots a truck. It shoots like
wasn't that some gravity gun or something that sucks in all this stuff? And I guess that's what they're going on about.
Graviton bazooka, and then it said, and then there's the one because it has like 3 different panels on the page we're looking at now, and one of them literally says the gun that shoots cars, and a big truck, like coming barely towards it. What is this? That made me laugh when I'm like, that's hilarious. Like just like you see it with like the gun in like the next panel or whatever, and you're just like, there's no way a car shot out of that. It's just like ridiculous. I don't know.
No, I think it sets up some sort of gravity field and it just pulls the cars in. It's like I don't know, it's like those video games where you get those gravity guns where you can kind of point it at something, you throw it at some people. But anyways,
I thought it was 2 separate guns because
you pull out a different gun each time.
Yeah.
I guess that was I don't know. Anyways, that was fun. And like I say, the flashbacks, I didn't find them so annoying. Yeah. And at least now he's older in the flashbacks too. So I don't know. I guess there's seemed to be a little bit more real. Like I guess both of us, we really didn't like those flashbacks when he was a child. Those are kind of silly.
Yeah.
And but some things that went on in here though, I don't know how Frank Castle's coming back from this. Like it shows that he's an active participant in what's going on. Like, up until this, you think he could be being brainwashed or, they're kind of just they're kind of pulling strings, but he seems to be exactly aware of what they're doing, how they're doing it, and when things don't work out,
so
he takes care of business.
Guys, again, we warned you at the start, spoilers, but I thought this was pretty crazy. I mean, not only does he get literally dragged in this, like his head is getting screeched across the ground, and it's like fucking blood is just bursting off of his face. Like he's just dragging his face across the ground areas when he beats the shit out of him in this book. He gets his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
But not only that, but like this part here, this was fucked up. This real messed up. Like even, I was just like, so they tried the hand tries to resurrect his kids now. I guess they've tried more than once. I guess the only thing they've been successful with so far has been his wife, even though she's like a zombie. But like what you see here is like you see like it's almost like 2 kids,
they're mutant kids or something.
Yeah, it's real disturbing, and I kind of like how they cut these scenes together where you don't really get a straight on shot, and then more of his reactions because he has to put them out of his misery, and he's just like this is, and then because she turns to him and she's like, yeah, it never really works with kids like as much as we'd like it to, like, and I'm just like,
especially when they've been dead longer than they've been alive. Like I thought that was such a cruel line.
But like he's playing God now. Like he's the type, he's doing things that he is exactly the type of person that he would kill in real. You know what I mean? Like what he's doing right now. it's disgusting. Like, this is like a crime against humanity, what the fuck they're doing with his children. Like, that's messed up. But I don't know. I thought that was to top it all off. Not only does he get his ass kicked, then he goes back to the beast, this hand stuff, and has to lick his wounds. Then they present to him his mutant kids or whatever that he resurrected. I'm just like, this is messed up, man. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up, this scene. I was like, wow, well done. So
well, that's it. And then they force him to kill him too. Like, he kills them when they're, these ones aren't working out. Okay, we'll try again. And then at the end, pow.
Yeah. Best issue of the series so far.
Oh, definitely the best issue of the series so far.
And to your point, even the flashback scenes were better because, like you said, he was older. Like, he was one of the scenes.
Yeah, I think it was his first tour of duty in war or something.
Yeah.
So it was.
Yeah, that was good. And the other one was when he was actually in the war, and they sent him, Maria sent him a picture of his child, and he felt nothing. Like, he's like, I don't know why I don't feel anything. He's like sitting there looking at the photo. He's like, I have no, like, he's just dead inside. Right. Like, so I think he's getting to the point where, like, we figure out, like, there's something seriously wrong with him, and this is why he's the Punisher. But, like, it's and then to top it all off, you get Daredevil at the end of the issue, and he's kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Daredevil's like, what the heck are you doing, man?
Great issue.
And I think that's what everybody was thinking, like, at the end of this, is like, what the heck are you doing? And Daredevil's there kind of speaking for us.
Yeah, no, it's kind of, it is interesting because I don't think we've seen him in this compromising of a position for himself personally. Like, I don't want to say ever, but, like, I don't feel like we've seen this all too often where, like, he's gone over the edge to the point where, like, not only is he just a senseless killer, like, now he's actually making these horrible decisions about, what I mean? Like, things involving his dead family, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, this does not seem like Frank Castle. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Yeah. Like, that's why I don't know how they're going to bring him back from this.
Yeah.
But, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, no, I know it's been mixed. We've been having mixed reviews on this series so far, but this issue, if they can continue, like, with how good this was, I have high hopes for the second half of this 12.
Yeah, me too. If this is where it's going, then
so yeah,
I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'll give it a 4.25, I think.
Dave, that's exactly what I was going to give it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great issue. All right, next up we got Dark Knights of Steel, Tales from the Three Kingdoms. This one right here.
Yeah, once again, that's another one I read online.
Yeah, it's all good. So what did you think of this one then, Chris? 3 stories in this one by 3 different creative teams. I guess detailing some
some early Kingdom stories.
Yeah, older events of these people.
I know when we're reading Dark Knights of Steel, we say, I wish they would spin out more stuff. I really didn't have any high hopes for this, and then we talked about it last week, saying there's different artists on it, and you don't think I'm missing much. But when I read it, I loved it. I thought they were all great stories.
Yes.
And I might run out to the shop, and if I see this, I'd pick it up just even after reading it. I thought it was all good stuff in there.
Agreed. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to start saying I stopped saying I hate anthologies, because a lot of stuff has been coming out lately that's giving us different short stories, and a lot of things lately I feel like have been giving me better majority of the stories in these things we've been reading lately have actually been good. Like, sometimes they put out these big anthology issues or specials for holidays and everything else, and you get like half good artists, good writers, the other half is just like people trying to make a name for themselves on the come up, and they're sometimes that it works in our favor, sometimes it doesn't, and I think you just get always a variety of good and bad, like a mixed bag of quality. But I gotta say, this was, again, like, to your point, all the stories were good. The only thing is, this artist here, which I think this is the Tom Taylor story about them as kids, Batman and Superman and all them, it was the best story, but I don't feel, while this artist is a good artist, that they're right for this book, if that makes any sense. I feel like, again, we're used to this artist was great.
This was a good one here. That was a good artist in there.
Good Harley too. Good Harley in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one out of the 3 for sure.
But it did fit the story, the first story here, the art, because they were able to draw kids really well. So, like, as much as I'm saying it doesn't fit, it fits this story, but I don't think it fits the regular Dark Knights of Steel book, but this isn't that, right? So I think it's appropriate in this book. So I take back what I said. So I think it's fine for this. Like you said, this is different artists and writers, and it's cool for this, but I just don't see it. Like, I'm glad that artist isn't drawing the other book.
For sure. Like, this is all sort of kind of high fantasy book, and you know, you kind of need that sort of
looks too
flair, let's say.
Right. This is great though. Great Harley in this, and even the thing at the end with a Bane, I guess, like a version of Bane in this world.
Yeah.
They introduce a lot of new versions of characters in this as well. And in the first story, the Tom Taylor one, it was kind of like the start of it was
like Jimmy Olsen and the Perry White and.
Yeah, but it was kind of like Arkham Asylum-ish, but it was for like kids, like an orphanage. It
was
like this, the beginnings of Two-Face, the beginnings of like the Penguin, things like that. How they all kind of are just like, it seemed like orphan kids, and what the operation that they were running out of there seemed like behind the scenes. It's the start of essentially what Arkham Asylum would be, let's say, in the DC universe, essentially, I would say. And then in this one, you got like a version of Bane, which was kind of cool. I agree with you. All good stories. I enjoyed it as well. I think I wouldn't mind seeing another spin-off series like they're doing with DC versus Vampires. Like, this was a one-shot, but if they were to say, hey, we're going to continue doing Dark Knights of Steel by the end of this series, and it has been it has been on hiatus, I feel like, for a couple months now, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Well, maybe another sort of less is more sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
You don't want to beat the horse till it's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with the way they're rolling things out.
What'd you give this?
I'll give it a 4. I liked it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, also 4. All right, She-Hulk number 6. I feel like I've read like half the issues of this series. Every other issue, I feel like I checked this out. I read this digitally. I know Chris has been following it the whole time. So yeah, what'd you think of this?
It's still like there's not much going on again. It's not like an action-packed comic, let's say, just more kind of following the life of Jen Walters, and I'm still down for it. Let's see, we got Nightcrawler trying to hire Jen, or I guess the beginning it was that cake and fancy dress days. You know, it's just kind of, you know, it's funny, and it's almost like a Archie comic, but you know, they're drawing, you know, not so Archie-like, let's say. And, you know, we got Nightcrawler hiring Jen to represent Krakoa, so that's an interesting point there. Mm-hmm. And what else do we have? Oh, the ending there with Jack of Hearts.
Very spicy, yeah.
Get a little spicy there, so I guess good for them.
I love this issue. This is delightful. I love this issue. Great. What a surprise. So different than everything else we're reading. Like, I don't know about you, but at least for me, that's why I don't want to speak for you as well, but I think it's just like a different, like you said, it is like it's kind of like Archie-ish or romance comic-ish at times. And but it's just nice. It's just actually just a nice told story about her. And it's not, you know, it has action, it has intrigue, it has, you know, moments like, you know what I mean? Like love.
Like an Ally McBeal comic, or is that an Ally McBeal?
Yeah, that's the one with the lawyer, right? Yeah, that's the whole fling between her and Jack of Hearts. Like, there's a whole scene there at the start where what's her name there as she meets up with Patsy Walker.
Yeah.
Files on Jack of Hearts for her, and she's like, "Well, who cares? It's Jack of Hearts. No one cares about Jack of Hearts." And then she kind of looks like a man. Like, she has like this look on her face. I liked it. I love this guy. Awesome.
Yeah, who is that guy? This guy's hilarious.
Yeah, the fact that he talks with the signs and he's dating her boss. I'm like, what's going on there? Yeah, I dug it, man. It just hit. It's giving me something no other book I'm reading currently, I think, is giving me this one. So I think I ordered the trade of this. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and reading it all. Cause like I said, I've only read, I think, like half the issues. Every now and then I check in on it if my week has been a little light. And I got to say, this issue was excellent. Probably the best one I've read out of the series so far. Yeah, I really, really, really dug it. So yeah, what'd you give this one?
Yeah, I give it a 3.75. Like I say, I've been liking the series, and it's not all this fourth wall breaking stuff and all that kind of, you know, it didn't turn into a Deadpool. Because I remember, I think her comics used to be sort of Deadpoolish before Deadpool.
The fourth wall breaking, yeah. John Burns.
So I'm liking this, like I say.
You know, you know, she wasn't twerking in this like she is on the television show, so there's that. But she's not with Megan Thee Stallion in this issue. But no, I give this a 4.25 as well. I love this. I love this issue. It's a contender, I'll tell you right now, for favorite of the week. This issue.
Oh wow!
It just came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere. Very surprising. So I really thoroughly enjoyed it. But that's she's gonna have her fucking hands full with this Krakoa thing. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that plays out if that's going to be a big story point.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Immortal X-Men number 6. There we go. Judgment Day. People are being judged. Oh, you got the Sebastian Shaw cover there, eh, Chris? There you go. Phil Noto. A little bit of Phil Noto in the house.
Yeah, I got a nice cover there. He's looking a little perturbed or smug, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, it's rightfully so that he's on the cover, though. I think this was
finally a cover match is an issue. It's nice. Yeah. I'm all happy about that.
This issue is mainly focused on Sebastian Shaw, right? So what did you think of this one?
Well, I liked seeing all the kind of behind the scenes, maybe not behind the scenes, but expanded all the stuff on Judgment Day when, you know, all those people kind of got judged pretty quickly. Here you can kind of see how they got judged. So I was happy to see that. I like seeing the Quiet Council out there, who got judged, who didn't, and who passed, who failed, and all that sort of stuff. So it was kind of fun seeing them talk amongst themselves about how things are going down. And then I guess Sebastian Shaw, was he talking with Star Fox? Was it kind of trying to broker a deal for the mutants or something?
Yeah. Well, then he gets approached there by Buddy, who's judging everybody, right? And he comes to him looking like Emma Frost, which insults him to no end. Like he's just because he hates Emma, right? Like, you think I'm scared of you? Like, get out of here with this form or whatever the hell he said. He just like yelled at him, and he got some flashbacks of his tragic upbringing, I guess. Like,
oh yeah, his father didn't love him. Boo hoo.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it was Star Fox who, like you said, he met with, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it was, you know, as much as a piece of shit Sebastian Shaw is, I think that it was interesting that we finally got some more story.
Yeah, like he's such a powerful character, and he's been kind of glossed over for so long already. And now you at least see why he's on the freaking Quiet Council.
He threw down in this. I mean, like,
yeah, I don't know where he was fighting, but. Was he fighting in hell or something? I don't know, but
yes, I think it was hell. Like it looked like it, right? Because I think it was like because he was the leader of the Hellfire Club, right? So I think maybe it was supposed to be something to match that. I guess the fact that he was because he mentioned that about how he used to run the Hellfire Club and yeah, he got judged obviously, you know, as a piece of shit, like as we all come to expect. He didn't pay it no mind. Like he's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah. I'll show you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And did some character come back at the end there? Like, was the Black Queen come? Or no, this character. Who's that?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask.
That's a new character. I thought he'd bring back, like, because you don't hear anything about the Black Queen anymore.
Yeah.
Is she still around, or?
I don't know. I don't know who this is. So yeah, you know, if you guys know, hit us up in the comments. Maybe it's something we're missing out on here, but this was a big last page reveal of this person being, I don't know if they were resurrected or they've just have made them like, I guess she's a mutant. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure who that is. Also, it's hard to tell because they're wearing a costume. Like they got one of those masks on and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if like, I guess we'll find out. Yeah. Yeah. So what'd you give that one?
I'll give us 3 points. I'll give it a 4. You know, I was really kind of falling off this Immortal X-Men, and I'm glad I got this issue.
I'm gonna say 3.75 on this one, but yeah, close to 4. I think it was a good issue. I think I've always liked Immortal X-Men a little bit more than you so far, but I think it's been an uptick. You know, the last couple issues, it's trending upwards again. Let's say that because I think it was kind of off and on previous to this these last couple. Poison Ivy number 4, which I've also read for the first time actually this week because I was light on books. I read this online digitally, and I know Chris has been reading this the whole time. You got a special cover for this one?
No, I just got the
regular one.
Just the regular cover here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is just another sort of one issue there where she's in her plan there. She gets try to get a job at I guess a shipping company, and then she finds out there's some people there that are, or the boss is a bit of a jerk. She takes care of business, and I guess falls in love with her coworker. Another bit of another spicy episode or issue.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go on.
I was gonna say, yeah. So about that, I had a question for you. Was the Harley scene in her head?
Yeah, that's all in her head where she's thinking she's always seeing Harley, and I think that's probably why they're extending this. They're going to probably bring her back together, get her back into the series somehow for the next 6 issues. And then there's this giant, whatever, the green or whatever they call whatever it's kind of haunting her or following her around. I guess this is the first time I think it's come to be like an actual physical force.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if she's talking about like the green, like the like place where she gets her power source from, like Swamp Thing does, I think that's what she's referring to. Because like the green, like with Swamp Thing and stuff, like that's where essentially like their power source comes from, and also there's like they have to answer to them. Like there's people that basically like he was like, I don't want to say king of the green, but like he was like watcher.
Yeah, it's like an elemental force, whatever. Yeah, it's like the exactly. Force, but it's the green.
I think that's what they're referring to in this, but like I don't know if it's just because of what she's doing, going around killing people with her powers. I'm guessing maybe it has something to do with that.
Yeah, maybe, but
I haven't been reading this the whole time. But yeah, that she does quickly, in like a lustful move, hooks up with a coworker that she prevents from getting Me Too'd in this. and yeah, then there's this excellent scene. I really dug this. I guess she was in her head, and
yeah,
shows Harley kind of in the back of her mind, I guess, watching from the sidelines as they're hooking up, which I thought was pretty interesting. Like as a scene, like I was like, oh, that's interesting, right? She's kind of just like big, yeah. Because is this the first time she's hooked up with somebody since Harley, like on her travels, or
yeah?
Okay, yeah. I mean, it was it was interesting. I enjoyed it. I thought this was a good issue just to read too, to be honest with you. I thought it's for me just jumping in on this one. It was good. I didn't need to know anything that came previously.
Yeah, like basically she just took that job because she wants to spread those spores. And, it's kind of like each issue, she's almost, in a town and, kind of solves a bit of a problem and then takes off while she's trying to kill everybody.
Right. So what'd you give this one, Chris?
I'll give it a 3.5, 3.75. Like I say, it's still nothing superb, but it's still a fun read and I'm liking it.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5 as well. I'm glad I read it though, because I know I do like the premise of her just bouncing, like going on her trip, running into people, right and wrongs, killing people. Like it does sound interesting to me. So
yeah, like, and I guess the twist is that she's still trying to end the world, not where most times everybody's trying to just kind of hide out or take off, but she's doing this as a very evil plan.
Right. All right. Next up, we got Batman 127.
Oof.
Cover here.
Awesome cover though.
Yeah, this was a great one. Yeah, this is
a great cover A. Gotta love that. I don't know why they got his eyeball in there. They could have just left that straight white, maybe. But
so, Chris, you just gave this book. You on our last episode, you said that this was currently in your top 5 current reads of a series coming out at the moment. So, what did you think of this one?
I can't believe I might say this, but I think I might have liked the backup story more than the first story.
Wow.
For a full time.
Backup was good though.
It was a good backup. Like
yeah.
I don't know. This maybe I just got overhyped by this whatever Ben Alzur, whatever Bad Alzur, whatever his name is. I don't think I'm down with him.
Nur-En-Arr.
Nur-En-Arr. Is it just me? Are they like groaning in like NRs and HRs or something? Or is that a different story, a different comic?
It's possible.
But what's his group? Anyways, whatever this Batman's name is, it's not like he was super powerful. He came out there and just got his ass kicked anyways.
Yeah.
But I guess that's good too for story wise. But I am still enjoying the story. I want to see where it goes, and I'm liking everything that's going on. But this Batman didn't stick out too long because the old Batman came back still in the same issue. Thought this guy's going to take control for 2 or 3 issues at least, you know, and crack some heads and take care of business. But he didn't do that much.
I love this issue. I don't know if it's because I know about the Zur-En-Arrh thing from previous Batman, and maybe you don't have the
Maybe I just don't have the history there.
And not that he's had too much screen time in the books either, like he hasn't, but I just love the idea, and he goes into it in this issue. He does explain for maybe people that aren't familiar with the character that once his brain is compromised, like he comes to the surface essentially. And I love that he's the one that basically put this in play, and he was the backup function for him to possibly take down this failsafe. Fails in doing so, like to your point. But I love that. I love that they referenced JLA Tower of Babel at the start of this issue when Superman showed up. Another thing, Chris, if you ever, that's a story you should read if you've never read it. They actually have an animated series movie about it as well, but it's called something else. It's the one where he's part of the Justice League and Batman has files on all of the Justice League members and how.
I think I've seen something about. I might not have watched the whole, but I've heard that reference before, and everybody's all upset about him.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's excellent. So like Zdarsky's referencing a lot of like great Batman type stuff that has happened in the past. Like, and that's my favorite type of Batman is the one that has like I love how he connected to the Tower of Babel because like, yes, that was him basically being this same type of person that had to have a failsafe for all these people in case they went out of control and he had to take them down. Because Batman's the only one that doesn't have powers in the Justice League, right? So like it actually is a really smart idea. I love that story. So the fact that Superman showed up at the start of this and referenced that to basically what's going on right now, excellent stuff. I wouldn't say that I love the backup more than I love this, but the backup was also really good. Like so like I'm loving Batman right now as well. I mean, it didn't make my top 5 last week, but I think it was just because I didn't want to jump the gun with the 2-issue Zdarsky thing that he's had so far. But yeah, it's up there. It's going to be in my top 5. I think every issue I've been loving more and more. This is excellent. The art's amazing.
Yeah,
this is an artist that should be on a title like this. Like this is crazy. Like
that's what I don't say.
Look at that.
That's what Spider-Man freaking needs, man. They need a freaking artist, top tier stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome.
Even the backup, great art, good story. Cobblepot's apparently alive.
And he's just doing things, and all this stuff like he faked his death there and blamed it on Batman. And look at all the freaking trouble he started.
Yeah.
And he did it just for kicks.
Yeah. Then he's sitting there like Donald Trump.
He's sitting there in a freaking flower shop in Metropolis and freaking Batman's getting his ass fucking handed to him. Yeah. He's got to retreat into some multiple personalities. And this guy's selling flowers. What would you do that for? Well, I thought it'd be funny.
Next issue, Zur-En-Arrh, year 1, Chris.
Yeah. Maybe. I didn't mind reading that because maybe it'll get me on the Zur-En-Arrh train, but we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. So what'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 4. I did like it. I love the cover.
Yeah. 4.25 as well for me for this one.
Nice.
Yeah. Very, very good. I really enjoyed this issue. All right, next up, we got Wolverine number 24. Me and Chris read this one on a lark. We read this online as well this week. We weren't reading this previously for some time now, I guess, since that event that we read. But this is a Judgment Day tie-in, guys. And Wolverine, he's got to get judged like everybody else. And I quite liked his approach in this. What'd you think of this, Chris, this issue?
I like that. I'm liking this idea of this Judgment tie-in. It's going to get me into like almost all the heroes that I have any interest in because I want to see how they get judged.
Yeah.
And, or how it works out, and I guess in these issues here where they kind of, go to the character in their series, it's just, they stretch it out a bit. And, it's the first time really reading a Wolverine comic, I guess, out of this run. I read the couple before that were garbage, but I like this issue here. And, I guess they're going to spread it out to 2 issues, which I don't mind. I don't know if I'll go buy them, but I'm interested in reading them to see what's going on. And there's some Hellbride or something that was, I don't know if that's a new kind of story or a story that happened in the past. And I didn't know Wolverine lives on the moon. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, he's part of the thruple, Chris. He lives on the he lives on the moon with Cyclops' family, the Summers. He lives in the summer house. And his room as established.
Don't even get me started why he's living in Cyclops' house first.
Hold
First
on,
of all,
hold on. There's a reason. They explained it in Hickman's X-Men. There was an issue where they specifically showed the layout of the Summers house, and Wolverine lives in one room in the house, okay? And that room has a door, Chris, that's connected to him and Jean's room. There's a throuple relationship going on, Chris. They're all begging these guys. They're all.
yeah,
It's
I guess if they're immortal, why not? You know, they're gonna start
oh,
going vampire style.
I mean, Krakoa's fuck island, man. Everyone's cool now with each other. Fucking him and Scott.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just,
Nobody's worried about dying. Okay, let's go.
yeah.
Let's get busy.
I thought this was a great issue. I mean, like you said, I haven't read this regularly for some time. I dropped it because I didn't love the title all that much. So, and I love Wolverine. I wish I was reading a solo Wolverine book. I'm really disappointed that I haven't been. But yeah, I'm in for the next one as well, Chris. I'm gonna probably read it online. I thought this was great. The whole storyline that they're referring to, with the Muramasa sword or whatever, the sword that he's fighting for, that he teams up with that guy at the end to take down. He's basically going to try to take down this celestial dude that's judging everybody, and he sees that from a mile away, and he's like, "Yeah, that's not happening." So he sends like an avatar of himself out to like kill them, made out of ice, which is awesome. Like, great stuff. But yeah, that's an old storyline. That I didn't know about her being the bride to the beast, like the hand, like that's who that is.
Yeah.
That scene, so that's really cool. There's a connection there, and I know about the sword. I think it's like the Muramasa sword or something. It's called like that's from like an old Wolverine story back from like the 90s or 2000s or something like that. So like, but he thinks he needs it to take down the Celestial, like right.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm in, man. I liked this issue a lot, and he kind of dealt with it like I feel like Wolverine would. Like everyone else is running around getting judged. He's like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna take it into my own hands."
They'll cut off his hand if he tries to judge me.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know that he's not gonna get judged. Like he's not getting the thumbs up, right?
Well, but the thing is, you don't know what criteria he's judging him on. It's like, are you true to yourself, or are you true to, like, you know, he doesn't have to say that. Are you good or bad?
Right.
You know, if you're true to your nature, maybe you get judged positively, or I don't know.
That's the thing. I mean, Wolverine could be a surprise because yes, Wolverine has killed, but has he ever killed for the wrong reasons? Which I wouldn't say he has, right? But like,
yeah, who knows?
There's been some questionable shit. So like, I don't know. I guess we'll see what I like. He at least gave him a 24 hours heads up though. He's like, listen, you got 24 hours, get your affairs in order. That's pretty much what he says to him. And he's like, oh, all right.
Well, that's the thing too. You don't die if you get judged. If you get thumbs down, you just feel like a dumbass. It's not like you die, you know, thumbs down, you're dead. Yeah. No, thumbs down, you fail. Yeah. What? Come on.
Judge. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much what happens.
And like, you know, this is an unexpected I guess bonus to this Judgment Day that I didn't even see coming out of nowhere. And I'm loving it.
It's been fun. What'd you give this then?
I'll give it a 3.75, moving on to a 4, just because it was so unexpectedly good. You know, I wasn't really expecting much.
Same.
I'm glad I did read it.
Yeah, same. For those same reasons, I'm going to give it a 4. Great issue. It was really a lot of fun. All right, next up, New Mutants number 29.
Okay, so this is, I guess, the end of the arc with Magic is done.
Okay.
And I think these are just a couple issues just to kind of get over the hump here. Like, this had nothing to do with the tie-ins. I think maybe in 30 there might be starting a new arc, or after 31. But anyways, in this one, Gabby goes missing. And one of Wolverine's kid, I guess, I don't know what his name is, Akahiro or something, or Draken, and Proudstar, not Warpath, but his younger brother. They kind of search for her at an Orchis facility. And, you know, after there's an inconsequential battle, the heroes, you know, find some common ground. Like, they were kind of fighting each other, but then they realize, oh, we got to go find Gabby. And then if, you know, Gabby, she was up to no good in there. You don't really find out why. But they all find her back in Krakoa, and she tries to explain herself that she was just trying to go get pizza. And I guess, is it Draken, I think? He's been really, I guess, overprotective of Gabby lately. And she's just trying to explain to him, you know, hey, I'm a trained assassin. You know, I can take care of myself. You don't need to, you know, so overprotective. And that's basically the gist of the story. Mm-hmm. That wasn't bad, you know. It was better than I thought it'd be, you know. And I'd give it a 3.5, but like I say, I think after there's a Liefeld cover coming out for 30 that I ordered, and we'll see where things go from there.
Oh, Liefeld cover. Is it Domino on the cover or Deadpool or what? Anything like that?
No, it's all the New Mutants of like the Liefeld New Mutants, like a Warlock, Cypher,
Yeah.
All them kind of drawn in, I guess, the Liefeld style.
Nice. All right. And lastly, we got Spider-Man 2099.
And on both of mine here.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Spider-Man Omega. You got, I don't know, a lot of hype for this book there. You're going to fight some galactic goblin or something, but basically it's still Norman Osborn from, I guess, the normal, like from the 616, I guess.
Okay.
And he's somehow in this universe, and he's kind of risen to the top, and he's, I guess, battling the whatever Spider-Man 2099 and Miguel O'Hara, and they got some plan because he's like super, I guess, uber powerful with these black cards that they have, and basically like their status cards where you're top of the world. If you don't get these black cards, you're nothing. And this is after all the heroes have been kind of slaughtered by, I forget what the Masters of Evil. But anyways, he has this plan there with the new X-Men to try and undo everything that's been done, and they're all fighting in this celestial garden that has all these sorts of resources, some like life-changing or earth-changing resources. Mm-hmm. And whoever gets them kind of can rule. And I guess they go through their battle, and I don't know how Spider-Man wins. He takes a tree and he freaking clonks him on the head with it, and that's it. And like, anyways, that was a bit of a
culmination of 5 issues.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. They had a nice fight there. He's dying. They're fighting those celestial whatever pools, so they beat the shit out of each other. But they go in the water, they come out healed. And then there's some side story where they're trying to bankrupt them, and the Ghost Rider's a ghosted machine. So I don't know, somehow they get into his bank accounts and they fry all these black cards. So all these people that he's been paying off, it sort of resets the world's economy where everybody has nothing again. And then, I guess that somehow makes him less strong. I don't know what. But anyway, he clomps him on the head, and then he goes to jail, and that's it. And then the world goes on. Now everybody's using these celestial resources, and at the end, the Spider-Woman pops up for no reason. So maybe they got some plans for future spin-offs or future miniseries, but I don't know. I was just buying this because it was Spider-Man 2099, and I didn't think it was all that great. Like the previous issues where they'd also introduce the new, like, just new versions of, the characters in 2099 that were kind of cool. But at the end, it just kind of fell flat. I think the Avengers pop in out of nowhere, and
sorry to hear that.
Wasn't for me.
Yeah. But
I give it a 3.25 or something for an end of a series. It wasn't all that.
You think we're gonna get more though? We're gonna get more Spider-Man 20?
Well, we're gonna drop in a brand new character on the last page at the end of an Omega when, like it's Spider-Woman and didn't look all that crazy to begin with. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe down the road, maybe in 30 years again.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for all the books that we read that came out this week, guys. Very quickly in the news, I wanted to mention this because it wasn't discussed in our previews that we looked over for November, because it isn't really a big publisher. It's a new publisher that actually just popped into the previews as of this current month for November. Frank Miller is starting his own publishing label. I don't know if you saw this, Chris.
Yeah, I read that. Did the issue come out yet, or?
Oh, so it's coming out in November. It's in the current previews right now, so you can pre-order it at the moment. But I did want to highlight this because I'll be checking it out. I was hoping you might be checking it out. They're going to be doing Newson City as well soon. I am intrigued with the fact that he's going to be doing his own stuff again like this. And the one that's been solicited in the November previews is Ronin Book 2. I'm a fan of the original Ronin, and while he's not going to be doing all of the art on the book, I think it's going to be the other artist, Philip Tan, who's going to be joining him. I'm interested to see what they do with this. So I think it's like a 7-issue series or something, 6 or 7, I think, and it's called Ronin Book 2. So I did want to highlight that because I'll be pre-ordering it just because I'm curious to see what they do with this thing. And him and Dan DiDio, who is now an ex-publisher, he used to work.
Yeah, wasn't it like a former DC publisher or something?
Yeah, he was I think the president or whatever, DC vice president or something like that. I forgot, like creative guy, and along with Jim Lee and everybody else over there, like at DC. And then he, while there was some reshuffling, I think, of the print side of things, because DC did get bought out by Warner. In terms of I guess on the print side of stuff, he, there is he had some plans for what he was going to plan to do for the next couple of years, like a couple of years ago. And then all of a sudden it came up in the news that I think he got fired or that he left. They gave him an option to leave or something like that. I don't, they were making cuts at the time. I don't think they were really down with some of his ideas of the direction that he was taking the company. But he was, he's been kind of active in a lot of the creative decisions over there since like the New 52, back when I first got into comics like 10 years ago, right? So I'm not like a huge fan of Dan DiDio. He's apparently going to be writing his own book as well under the new Frank Miller publishing line. But I think it's interesting that he's going out there and doing his own thing this late in the game, because Frank Miller is obviously, comics legend to a lot of people, like very influential, of course. But like, it's interesting that this late in his career, he's actually finally going to go, like, he's done indie stuff before, like in the sense that but he worked for Dark Horse doing Sin City, but now he's off, he's off with Dan DiDio's help doing this new imprint. So I'm interested to see what happens with it. I don't know. I'll be picking it up.
Yeah, it'd be almost like, Frank Miller Uncensored. Nobody's, he can do whatever he wants. It's all on him now. I think his stories are probably going to be off the wall because he's not worried about being mainstream or,
right,
or trying to be, not controversial.
Right.
They seem to be a bit of an off the wall character.
That's what I mean. This could be a good or bad thing. I don't know. I mean, like it does have me intrigued. Sorry, to the point I am going to check it out though. How about you? You going to check out Ronin or?
I'll probably, if I see him around, maybe, I don't know if I'll be ordering him pre-order, but we'll see how it goes.
Nice. All right. So there you go. That's Ronin Book 2. And let's talk about what we're picking up next week, shall we? You got your list there, Chris?
Okay, I wrote down quick, but it's the Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, whatever Judgment Day. There's a 4 or something. I think I got Captain Marvel, the new Daredevil. We got Edge of Spider-Verse 5, Iron Man, Savage Avengers, Amazing Spider-Man 9, Venom 10, X-Men Red 6. I think DC is only coming out with I only got Jurassic League 5. I don't know if I'm missing some from DC.
Yeah, no, actually, I don't have anything really from DC. So, and you didn't order Batman versus Robin. You're not checking that out, right?
No.
So yeah, I got Amazing Spider-Man 9, Axe Judgment Day 4, Batman versus Robin 1, Bone Orchard, which is a new Jeff Lemire Image series, Daredevil 3, Do a Powerbomb 4, Love Everlasting 2, Midnight Suns 1, Predator 2, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance 11. That's the last issue of that. Silver Coin 14, X-Men 6, and I'll be reading Jurassic League 5. And because you fucking Chris piqued my interest with the last issue, Savage Avengers 5. I'll be reading those digitally because I didn't pre-order them. But
yeah, you can't go wrong if they're a digital read.
Yeah. So I'll be reading those digitally. So yeah, huge week, 14 comics next week for me. So that's the culmination of these last 2 weeks that were small, guys. That'll be a big one next week. So stay tuned for that. All right. That being said, though, Chris, moment of truth. Favorite book of the week. This is hard for me this week, to be honest with you. I don't know what I'm going to go with.
This was a good week, but I think after talking, I might have to go with this one, Punisher 6.
Yeah. You read my mind. Yeah, there we go. It's exactly for the reason you just stated, though. After talking, I actually thought I was going to give it to She-Hulk, surprisingly, just because it was so unexpected. But while we were talking about this, I'm like, you know what? I love the Punisher. We got to give it up for this issue. This was the best issue, I think. So
yeah, like we've been, sweating this guy for so long and wanting something good. Finally we got it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Hopefully, like you say, it's a turning point in the series.
Exactly what you said is, I think I felt that way after our talk about it. And right before we announced it right now, I'm like, I think I got to give it to him because I I love the Punisher. I want this book to be good. So I've struggled with it so far. Right. And this was the best issue of the series. Absolutely, hands down. But I will say again, close runner up She-Hulk this week. So unexpected for me. And it was really fun to read that one. I really liked it, and just different than everything else I think that I'm reading currently. So yeah, definitely. I think I'm picking up the trade of that when it comes out. So
Nice.
yeah. All right. There you go. There you have it. That'll do it for this week, guys. Stay tuned. Check us out next week. As always, like I said, subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell, hit us up in the comments. You want to continue the conversation, tell a friend, and we'll see you guys here next week for, like I said, a really large week of books, lots of great stuff to talk about. So I look forward to it as always. And Chris, thank you as always.
All right. Cheers. Happy to do this. It's always fun.
Yeah, man. We'll see you guys next week. Later.